What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and with Title Update 15 right around the corner, a lot of people are in the hunt for certain things that have eluded them in the game so far, whether it's maxed out mods, god-rolled items, specific weapons, gear, stuff like that. Therefore, a lot of you have reached out to the channel asking me what is one of my favorite skill builds to use in the game in regards to farming, whether it's heroic or legendary, so that's exactly what I want to show you today. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button as well. And remember, we are currently having a giveaway for an Xbox Series X. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced on July 4th of this year. One of the things I like to mention at the beginning of every build video I put together is I want to remind, especially new and returning players, that this is just a template. This is to give you kind of a baseline of what you can put together, and the most important thing is really design a build around your game style. One of the best things about this game, in my opinion, in regards to skill builds is that you have so many different variations you can choose from. So again, I mean, look, you may want to use the hive, you may want to use a mortar turret, you may want to use a sniper turret. So once again, really take your time and try out different things. Now, as always, throughout the video, as we go through certain pieces, I will give you different options as we cruise along, because some of you may not have the gear that I'm referring to, and if you don't, there are still viable options you can use that can still put out a ton of damage. Anyway, getting to the footage you're seeing on screen, you can see I'm in the Summit, floor 10, legendary difficulty. This happens to be one of my favorite farming locations in the game, without a doubt. Now, for those of you that may not be aware of this farming method, I will leave a link in the video description down below showing you it's a great way to just refarm a floor boss over and over and over again. In the Summit, you can get a ton of great gear in a short amount of time, and for me, I've found a lot of great items here, whether it's exotics or god-rolled items, so I definitely recommend checking it out. As always, I'm starting off with a little bit of gameplay footage, then we're going to jump into the build itself, and then after that, I'll show you a little more footage, as well as pass along a few tips that I'd like to give to new and returning players, especially when you're trying out a build for the first time. Starting off with a specialization, I'm using Technician for two main reasons. First of all, it's going to give you an extra skill tier, so that way when it comes to your build, you can change one of the core attributes to something else if you choose to. And secondly, you also get a 12% damage bonus to drones, skill proxies, and robotics. And when you're running legendary, that definitely comes in handy. Now remember, regardless of which specialization you choose, always remember to have the proper weapons activated in your weapon skill tree. That way you always get a 15% weapon damage bonus no matter which weapon you have equipped. My primary weapon for this build is the Harmony Rifle. Because of the talent Perfectly in Sync, hitting an enemy grants 20% skill damage for 5 seconds. Using a skill or damaging an enemy with a skill grants 20% damage for 5 seconds, and then damage increases are doubled when both buffs are active at the same time. My secondary weapon for this build is the Capacitor. It's absolutely a monster of an assault rifle. Now, if you don't have either of these weapons, for the Capacitor, you can farm for it anywhere the assault rifle is the targeted loot, or you can go to the Summit and choose assault rifle as your targeted loot. And when it comes to the Harmony, to the best of my knowledge, that is still a Dark Zone exclusive item, which means you have to farm for it in the DZ. If the vendor, or one of the DZ vendors, has it for sale, you can buy it, or you can also get it from a named cache. Now, if you don't have that, just equip any rifle with the talent in sync and it will still do a ton of damage. Moving on to the gear itself, we have one piece of Wyvern as the mask, so we get that 10% skill damage bonus. Now, because I have Technician as my specialization, it allows me to change my core attribute on that mask to weapon damage, which definitely helps out. Moving on to the body armor, it's the first of 3 pieces of the Empress International gear set. We're running all 3, so we get that 10% bonus to skill health, skill damage, and skill efficiency. And as you can see, I'm running with kinetic momentum. And with that talent, when in combat, each skill generates a stack while active or not on cooldown. Stacks increase your total skill damage by 1% and total skill repair by 2%, up to 15 stacks per skill. Now this, my friends, happens to be one of those pieces of gear where you can choose a different talent on the chest. I know that glass cannon is incredibly popular with a build like this, so it's really up to you and how you like to play the game. Moving on to the holster and the knee pads, they are the 2 remaining pieces of the Empress International gear set, and on all of my gear, I'm trying to stack skill damage, skill haste, or skill duration on every every piece I possibly can. Next we have our gloves. It is the first of 2 pieces of the Hanyu gear set, and we're using that so we get that skill haste and skill damage bonus. Now when it comes to the backpack, you can see I'm using the named Hanyu bag force multiplier because it has the talent perfect combined arms. Now if you don't have this bag, any other Hanyu bag will work. Just roll the talent combined arms on there, and once again you will still do a bunch of damage. Finally, in regards to the skills I have equipped, you can see I'm using the assault drone and the assault turret just because they're my favorite 2 to use with a build like this. However, I know a popular one is the mortar turret. That does mean you need to change your specialization, but again, like I said earlier, there are so many different ways to run a skill build, try out different things, see what works best for you, and go from there, my friends. One recommendation I want to pass along, and again, this is for new and returning players, but I always recommend that if you're trying out a build for the first time, go to a mission, control point, whatever it is in the game that you're familiar with. That way you know the timing of the NPC and you can truly see how the build reacts to your game style. Most of you know by now that one of my favorite aspects about putting these build videos together is the family that we have here at the channel. So as always, if you have any tips or tricks you want to pass along to new and returning players, please feel free to leave those in the comment section down below, as the main goal is to try to help out as many people as we can. With all that being said, I'm going to start to wrap this up. We are so close to title update 15, my friends, and trust me when I say I cannot wait to bring you more build videos, farming videos, things like that. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please let me know in the comment section down below. As I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button as well. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.